Hey everybody, Eddie here, came on Tolio. We're back for round 2 of a Vintage League, and we're playing Hollow Vine again. Playing against Joan and Anton. They've been on PO recently. They do have a bit of range, but yeah, unfortunately we didn't win the die roll because if this is PO, we're playing against a big game having the Chalice. But we're going to keep this hand anyways. We're going to hopefully get an opportunity to draw here and find a counterspell and Chalice to shut off POs. Okay, so my opponent is deciding to play a Scalding Tarn and pass. That must mean an Ancestral in the upkeep because that's typically a very weak line. Okay. Let's see. Let's find a couple hollow ones here, or root wallas. We did not. And I'm going to get these guys into the yard here. I guess I'll keep one for Force of Vigor. Hopefully we don't get wastelanded. That would be pretty awful for us, but that's the world we live in. And unfortunately, we did not find a spell for our Force of Negation. Okay, so our opponent is playing... Gotta have maybe... Hull Breacher needs to be on our radar next turn. I'm going to hold the other Vengevine here. And the reason being is that if there's some world where they have like a main deck Soul Guide Lantern or Relic or something like that, I think it does not bode well for us. Oh, they don't have a land. I am considering wastelanding this land here. Oh, they got a Sega. Thank God. Because I could... Like if they go in if I wasteland this Scalding Tarn, and they go and they get a non-basic, I obviously have the ability to wasteland the non-basic. If they go and get an island, of course, not knowing the composition of their deck, it may be just fine for them to go and get an island, but turning them off their second color is significant. So it's a bad tempo play on my part, but if they were struggling for land here, it's something that I would consider if they just pass turn there. So I am going to wasteland this with the trigger on the stack to prevent them from being able to get a Hull Breacher into play. It is unable to tap for mana with that trigger on the stack from the Sega. And hopefully we can get these Vengevines going. Like, this is really what our game plan is right now. We need to hit a couple Root Wallas or Hollow ones here. So there's one of them. I don't think I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to dump the Vigor because we're going to be out of tools here. I am going to just wasteland the island here. This is a much more clean tempo play. We're going to hold the hollow one. Being able to recur 4 Vengevines is... I don't know that I've ever done that in all my time playing Holovine, so it's pretty enticing to try and do that. I suspect Chalice is really winning me this game here. Okay, that's not a bad draw. Really like to see a Root Wall or a Hollow one here. I think it's fairly safe to dump the Bazaar here. I'm just going to continue to hold up counter magic. I'm not going to wasteland the Academy because it does nothing. If they put an artifact on the stack, then I will consider counting it or wastelanding it. Come on. There it is. 4 vines. How cool is that? I don't know that I've ever done that. Actually, I have over very long extended periods of the game where it's like you get them into play one or two and then they get killed with a tabernacle. You know, you're churning your library like crazy, and you know, eventually, like a couple cards left in your library, you're able to animate the vines. But I don't think I've ever had a natural 4 like that so early in the game. Anyways, let's not admire ourselves too much. That was definitely very fun. Um, so this feels like combo that we're playing against here. I don't think Noxious Revival is doing much for us here. I mean, I don't feel like we're going to get run into Wastelands or anything like that. Fury is unlikely to have any value. Endurance, I mean, if they're playing Snapcaster Yogg Will, it could be okay. It's also a beat stick. Question is it better than Noxious Revival? And probably not. I think Noxious Revival will accomplish much what the same as I'm looking for. Like if they're snapcasting something, I can put it on top of their library to temple them, you know, at least for a turn, not being able to get the card. And one of the things I like about Noxious Revival is, you know, sometimes PO just doesn't have it, and you know, popping a land on top of their library or something of that nature to ensure they don't draw a relevant spell is a reasonable thing to do. So I think this is good. I mean, combo decks are the type of decks that we're trying to take on with this deck. But I think it is a reasonable deck to be playing right now. Oh. There we go. Okay, so I think we're going to put a Wasteland away here. We've got a counter spell up if we need it. Pithing Needle. Well, we are going to have to counter that. I think that it's just too much of a cheat not to try and do that. Okay, they've got the Force. Now we have a Force of Will in our hand, or a Force of Negation. Force of Vigor, actually. That's going to help us here. We will draw a green card eventually. Hopefully we get one right now. That would be really sweet. We can attempt to try and double vigor them here. So I'm going to play the Wasteland. I don't think they're going to be able to create a Golem here. If they stack a Mox on a Mox, I probably will Wasteland in response. Hopefully they don't have anything here. Yeah. Of course, I won't let them search their library for anything. I will Wasteland if I don't draw a green card. And we did draw a green card here, so this is fantastic for us. So what we're going to do here is we are going to attempt to Force of Vigor them. They have used a Force already. Okay, that is amazing for us. So, I don't think I need to Bazaar here right now. I will Bazaar end of turn. I want to get a clock going on them here with the hollow ones, so. No, that's fantastic. Only thing that's missing is a Vengevine in the yard, but that's okay. Okay. We have Tabernacle Insulation, which is awesome. I mean, hopefully they miss here again. If they're going to give us an opportunity to untap without doing anything, I feel like we'll seal it. Okay, that's a pretty good card for them. That's one of their best cards. Probably a Sensei's Top. Oh, even better. Wow, look at them. Yeah. Okay. PO. So my opponent was sandbagging, waiting for their opportunity, and now they see that they're being pressured. They're going to try and do it. We are hellbent, so we're in a pretty vulnerable spot. But given how this game started, like I feel pretty good about the resilience of our deck. Yeah, Karn's a nice one. Jeez, okay. What are they going to go get? An Ensnaring Bridge? Ensnaring Bridge would be a nice one. We'd be in a lot of trouble versus that. We're going to have to kill the Karn here, unfortunately. I can't let them... I need them... I don't want them... Like, if they go and they get an Ensnaring Bridge or something like that, I don't want them to be able to kill their Mana Crypt. It's one of the ways I can win is through a clock that way. And you know, my root walls and being able to pump them up is another win condition that only unfortunately works for the green root walla. So they got a Sensei's Top. Okay. So we're looking for some counter magic here. We will Bazaar first. Ooh, Chalice was actually decent. I'm going to dump the 2 Bazaars here. I'm going to hold one of the Masters of... Actually, that doesn't... My apologies. Dumping the Master of Death, or holding the Master of Death doesn't accomplish much because I'm going to be playing the Chalice here, no matter what. So yes, I'm going to do that. Get rid of both my Masters. If I could feint, like, you know, holding up this in my hand and not playing another spell, you know, like I'm holding up counter magic is a very reasonable thing to do, but the Chalice is just too good not to. So they're going to find a top here, unfortunately. But if they do PO here and draw a couple cards, they will not be able to bring them back down because of Chalice of the Void, which is not insignificant. Okay, they did find a land. Top is good. So they must have a PO here. Oh, I don't know that for sure, but ironically, Hurkyl's Recall wouldn't be too bad for us, or would be pretty good for them here too. Most people don't side in Hurkyl's Recall against Hollowvine. More often than not, will just be a card you're going to pitch to force a will. But I've had one of my best cards against them in Chalice of the Void in my hand, so okay. So they did find a PO. Pithing Needle. Okay. Well, Pithing Needle is reasonable here. Hopefully we can find some Root Wallas. We did find a Root Walla, which is amazing. Every piece of clock that we can find is pretty big game. And hopefully we draw a Force of Will or Force of Negation off the top of our library, which we can pair with our Masters of Death. So we're hitting for 10 life here now, and they are an active Mana Crypt. So We potentially have them on lethal here. Okay. See if we get them. They won the flip. Come on. It's interesting they cited out their Sensei's Divining Top. Obviously, I don't know how their board is constructed, but Sensei's Divining Top is a very cheap card for the opponent to cast, especially on the play, and really gets their PO engine going, being able to dig and find answers to my onslaught, etc. But maybe they have several in the deck and just had to put one on the board. I mean, it ended up working for them. They were able to carn it into play, but anyways, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Another solid win against Combo from Hollowvine. The deck is feeling really strong. That's 7-0 the last two leagues so far, and yeah, we'll see you in round 3.